move 2 places to the left. If you want to find the discounted amount, you got to watch how they ask these questions. If they say, what is the amount that you're going to take off? What is the discount? You do that, and that's all you have to do. But if they ask for the sale price, remember, you're going to take the original minus off the discount. You're going to take the original minus off the discount. So you got to watch how they ask the question. If they say, how much did you save? You just multiply by that decimal that we find for the percentage. But if they ask, what is the new price or what is the sale price, you got to actually physically take that off. So watch how they ask the question, because it just depends upon how things are written as to how you approach it, okay? So just so you know, you got to be careful on how they ask the question. So that's really kind of the main math notes that you need. In a second, once everybody has that, let's do some of the actual problems together, okay? Okay, so let's take a look at the problems here. Oh, I'm sorry. Moving too fast. I apologize. So, everybody good with that? Okay, so now let's go down to our first example here, or first problem here. It says that we're buying a food processor that's 10% off. The regular price is $189. We're going to find how much you save and then how much you pay. So we have to, again, we have to think about what they're asking in each question. For how much you save, remember 10%. If you throw that into a calculator and divide that 10 by 100, you're going to get 0.1 or 0.10. However you want to think about it, they're both exactly the same thing. And so we're going to do 189 times 0.10, and we're going to get the amount that you save. So you end up saving $18.90. So please make sure you put that dollar symbol. You want to show the 2 decimal places. And please, if it isn't perfect like this one, make sure that you round to the nearest decimal. So that's what you saved by multiplying by that decimal value, 0.10, okay? How much do you pay? Take the original minus the sale amount, minus that $18.90. Now, if you're doing that by hand, that 189, you need to really show those 2 decimal places if you were subtracting. So if you want to put that as $189 with the 2 decimal places, go ahead and do that. But we're just subtracting, okay? We're just subtracting $18.90 from that. And you get $170.10, I believe. Let me check. Yeah, so you get $170.10, okay? So again, you want to multiply by the percent as a decimal. That's going to be your savings, and then you actually subtract it off to find what you're paying. Let's do one more together to make sure we're on the same page, okay? So you'll notice in number 2, we're buying a coffee maker that's 25% off. The regular price is $59. So the first thing you want to do is take that 25%. You want to divide that by 100 so that we're going to use the decimal value, 0.25. Now you can hit 25 divided by 100 in your calculator to get that decimal if you want. That's perfectly acceptable. Okay. We're going to take the original price, $59, times 0.25. And we're going to find that we save $14.75. So that's how much they're going to take off the price, that $14.75. So all you're going to do is take your $59 minus $14.75. Now, if you're doing it by hand, that 59 needs to show the two decimal places where the cents are because we're taking off cents. We're taking off that 75 cents. And you should expect that we should have 25 cents as our value if you take off 75 cents from dollars. And the total amount we're going to pay is $44, and 25 cents. Okay? Does anybody have any questions about this section? You're just finding the discount. Once you find the discount, you have to subtract it off to find what you actually pay. Now, there's some other shortcuts and ways to go that we can discuss at another time. Like if I go to a store and they tell me I take 25% off, you can kind of think about, well, you're going to pay 75%. So you can check your work that way. 75% of $59 is $44.25. So you can kind of do it that way if you think of percentages. So everybody good with 1 and 2? Do we have any questions about those ones? Okay, so that's all you're doing for that page. Nothing too crazy. Could you now, somewhere, wherever you're putting number 13, it's buying on credit. Let's just talk about how you find your monthly payment. Okay. So let's say that you go into a store and you want to buy a refrigerator that's, $1,500. And you decide to sign up for their plan to pay it over so many months. If you want to do that, you need to really consider, well, what's my monthly payment going to be? And so all you're going to do to find the monthly payment, take your total amount, whatever that happens to be. Now, in real life, if you go to buy a refrigerator that's $1,500, they're going to put on their tax. They're going to put on there any fees to charge for putting on credit. So you'll probably end up spending closer to $2,000 when it's all said and done. But anyway, you take your total and you divide it by the number of months. Okay, and that will be your monthly payment. Okay, you take your total divided by the number of months, and that will be your monthly payment. Now, again, that total should reflect any fees that they charge you, all the taxes, everything that it would cost. So again, if you're buying something for $1,500, if you're buying it on credit, you're probably going to pay closer to $2,000 or something when it's all said and done. Okay, but it allows you to pay it over time. So if your refrigerator breaks and you don't have $1,500 in your bank account, you can go ahead and sign up to make those monthly payments instead. Okay, so that being said, that's very kind of logical, hopefully. We'll do the first few problems on the number 13 section, okay? So if you want to follow along with me, you can go ahead and do that. So it's the total cost divided by the number of months will be your monthly payment, okay? Okay, so let's look at the first ones here. So it's only these 6 problems. So this should be very quick for you. Let's take a look at the first one. And then we'll do maybe number 6 because it's a little more complicated. Let's start with number 1. It says, Dan bought a fridge for $13.50. He made 12 monthly payments. How much did he pay each month? All you have to do is take that total price. We're assuming that's the total after everything. And you divide it by 12 because that's the number of months total. And so you just take $13.50 divided by 12 and you get that his monthly payment would be $112. Now the calculator says 0.5. How should we write that so it reflects the way that money is written?
0.
Yeah, you got to throw that 0 on the end, okay? So please make sure if there's money that you're showing 2 decimal places and only 2 decimal places. Not 1, not 3, but you're showing me 2 decimal places, okay? So total divided by the number of months will be your monthly payment. So let's do 6. No, what's different about number 6 is it says that Lucy paid $999 for a fridge and $693 for a freezer. She made payments for 18 months. How much did she pay each month? Now remember, it's always total divided by the number of months. So do we have a total there yet? No, we got to add those together, right? So get your total. So on your calculator somewhere, do that $999 plus $693 is $1,692. Okay? Oh, I'm sorry. So that is what you end up paying total. So it's got to be the total. So you're going to do $1,692, that total, divided by 18. So just be careful if you buy more than one thing that you've totaled them out. So $1,692 divided by 18 comes out nicely, exactly to the nearest dollar. It's perfect, $94. So there's number 6. Do we have any questions about what's being asked of you for 12 and 13?
No, ma'am.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay, if you need me, just raise your hand. I'll come around and help you if you're stuck on any of them. There you go.